Let's switch to regular session for invocation. बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय. बोले श्री Satyanarayan Swami ki jai. Devotees, this morning once again I'm happy to welcome everyone as we prepare to begin with our devotions. I would like to say a word of welcome to some of you who possibly may be joining for the first time, or maybe for the first few times. We'd like to welcome you to Dharma Inc. Of course, we're doing devotions virtually at this point. It provides, I suppose, an opportunity for you to join us, but I do want to encourage you to remain consistent in your devotions from today on. And of course, the opportunity is always open with us. If not, we remain consistent in whatever situation is possible. This morning, I would also like to say a word of welcome to members who are listening on Swarg Sangeet HD through Roshan Ramdeen, a good friend, a good brother of mine, friend of Dharma Inc. Welcome to all of you to our devotions. And of course, as usual, a heartfelt welcome to members of Dharma Inc. Sri Vishnu Sahastranaam Mandir. I say to you, Sitaram. This morning we prepare to begin. I will precede everything that happens today by setting an atmosphere for you. An atmosphere which for us is hinged in prayer, but as the world goes round, is hinged in change, massive change. Instability characterizes our world today, and more so some of us this weekend. How can we sit and pray, devotees, and not acknowledge? How can we sit idly by and not connect what we do, what we think, how we pray to what is going on in the outside world? Then our prayer is useless to a certain extent. Our prayer is not pointed. It is not poignant. It is not applicable. This morning I raise that awareness for you, because when we perform our devotions, if we seek to connect our environment with our prayer, we tend to be more successful. It is called self-awareness. I invite us all to join this morning in invocation mantra. We put our voices in, we say Harihi Om, Harihi Om, Harihi Om. Om Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. That's it. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Bhagavan He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, He Ram. हमें दया करो. गुरुर ब्रह्मा गुरुर विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर्साक्षात् साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ॐ सिद्धे बुद्धे प्रदे देवी मुक्ते मुक्ते प्रदायिनी मंत्रमूर्ति सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार वरणो रघुवर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचार बोधहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मुहे हरहु कलेश विकार सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। हे नाथ मम संकट हरो हरि। सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय। Having completed invocation mantra, we now devotees focus for dhyan. As I had alluded to earlier, this week has proven to be quite an eventful one. And there are so many things that are happening. Our forum here, this live stream, it engages you here locally, throughout the state, throughout our country, and sometimes even internationally. And for every section of our listenership, every section of our devotees, I prefer to say, who have joined, you observe different moments. Some of you in Trinidad, Indian Arrival Day. Here we have so much upheaval locally within the states. Yet devotees, we find ourselves here with a responsibility to remain true to the self. That responsibility to remain true to the self can also be the solution to conflict if implemented, not in groups, but if implemented individually by each and every one of us. This opportunity is here in dhyan. When we remain true to ourselves, what we are doing, not essentially but in fact, is remaining true to our own nature, which is the cosmic nature. Yatha brahmande tatha pinde. We remain true to our individual self, which is a reflection, it is a mirror image of the cosmic self. If there is unity between the cosmos, or the principles of the cosmos, and each and every one of us, as billions of us as there is, then how can there be discord? We, however, have limited control. You see, our boundaries are right here, right at the periphery of this physical shell we call the human body, the sharira. And within these boundaries, we exercise control. This morning we will do a brief dhyan, or we call it meditation. Then, of course, we do a bit of kirtan, which becomes a staple on Sunday devotions. I will share with you a short message. We will perform brief arati and conclude. We begin to wrest control once more. We seek that true nature. We be true to the self. We become true to the self. We exercise truth in the self, we do dhyan. We take the consciousness and we tie it back home. We tie it in the shell of the body. We assume our asana. Our asana is our seat. We sit in a stable yet comfortable position. We sit on the ground as best as we can. We sit with an upright back if we are not able to sit on the ground. And under no condition, devotees and devotions, should we sit back and relax. This is about alertness. We do not relax the body to perform devotion. We negate the body. Dhyan puts the body to sleep. It takes that same energy that drives the body and it focuses it on the subtle bodies. So we do prana and awaken that energy. We do mantra and we awaken the intellect. We apply bhakti and we call in order to tie the consciousness to the self. We take our seats, we breathe. We begin to channel our focus to Ananta Hari Narayana. We say Om Sri Paramatmane Namah. Paramatmane Namah. Paramatmane Namah. Sri Paramatmane Namah. Sri Ananta Sri Ananta Hari Sri Ananta Hari Om Sri Ananta Hari Narayana Sri Ananta Hari Narayana Mukam Karoti Vachalam Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panguram Dayate Guru Yat Kripa Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yat Kripa Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Paramanandam Paramananda Madhava Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya वासुदेवाय हरि 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 नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय वासुदेवाय हरि ओम शांति 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 सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय. Today, as we always do, we join in Chaupai. For those of us who might be inclined to know and appreciate, we stay in Raga Bhairavi. We do so because there is this tradition amongst our ancestors, our foreparents, not only in Trinidad but throughout the diaspora, to sing in a particular way. And it was referred to the Bhairavidhuna. Most of it centered around this scale or this rag, so to speak. As we honor them, as we honor the divine through their work and their principles, we stay close to home, so to speak, today. If we attend Ramayana, we go to Katha, Yajnas and so on. The Chaupai is changed this morning, but still familiar. I ask you to join. As we begin, we call on Anantari Narayana's Sri Ram. Pravasinagar kije sab kaja, Hiridaya rakhi kaushala pura raja. And how devotees, how do we need courage today? Pravasinagar kije sab kaja, Hiridaya rakhi kaushala pura raja. We join. Pravasinagar kije sab kaja, Hiridaya rakhi kaushala pura raja. Rath chari siya sahit no bhai, chale banahi avadh ishwar nahi. जाके सुमिरन तेरी पूर्णाशा, नाम शत्रुघ्न वेद प्रकाशा. विश्व भरन पोषण कर जोई, विश्व भरण पोषण कर जोई. ताकर नाम भरत हस होई. जय राम श्री राम जय जय. जब तेरा सखा धर्म में असरथ जाके, सखा धर्म में असरथ जाके. Ram, Sri Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Sri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Ram, Sri Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Jaya Ram, Sri Ram, Jaya Ram, Sri Ram, Jaya Ram, Sri Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. वशोवाज समाज सुख, वशोवाज समाज सुख, कहत न बनय खगेश, ओ रामा कहत न बनय खगेश, वर्णय शारद शेष सुती, सोरस जानक महेश सिया, पति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम, सीता रामचंद्र की जय. After worshipping Sri Ram in this way, we now turn our attentions to Ganapati. We join in bhajan once more. Timeless bhajan, timeless dhoon, timeless scale, timeless devotion. The energies of this devotion has been infused and remains saturated with the echoes of our forebears. It is what we have inherited. It has power. All we need to do now, devotees, is apply ourselves. We add our effort, we get success. We say, Sakala Vighana कर दूर ओम गं गणपते नमः, हे रमाय नमः, धूम्रवर्णाय नमः, जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि, सकल विघ्न कर दूर हमारे, जय गणेश गणनाथ. Now devotees, जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि, सकल विघ्न कर दूर हमारे. प्रथम धरे जो ध्यान तुम्हारे, तिनके पूर्ण कारज सारे. प्रथम धरे जो ध्यान तुम्हारे, तिनके पूर्ण कारज सारे. रिद्धि सिद्धि दो छमर दुलावे रिद्धि सिद्धि दो छमर दुलावे मूषक मान परम सुखाए रिद्धि सिद्धि दो छमर दुलावे मूषक मान परम सुखाए मूषक मान परम सुखाए ब्रह्मादिक सुरधावत मन में ब्रह्मादिक सुरधावत मन में ऋषि मुनि गण सबदा सब कोई जय गणेश ब्रह्मानंद सहाय करो नित भक्त जनों के तुम रखवाले ब्रह्मानंद सहाय करो नित भक्त जनों के तुम रखवाले भक्त जनों के तुम रखवाले ब्रह्मानंद सहाय करो नित ब्रह्मानंद सहाय करो नित भक्त जनों के तुम रखवाले जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि सकल विघ्न दूर जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि सकल विघ्न सकल विघ्न सकल विघ्न कर दूर हमारे गजानन स्वामी की जय. After worshipping Ganapati, we now for a few moments we chant the name of Devi Ma. We do a beautiful dhun again, one that has been around, I believe, for quite some time. And of course, this is one kirtan in which I will need your help. So let us all join from where we are. We put our voices in. Consider not for a second, a moment, devotees, that you are sitting and no one can hear you. If we all sit together in all different places and we sing, I'm here, you're there, someone else is somewhere else, aren't we exercising a unity of purpose? Aren't we unifying our voices for the same divine? We will all be heard. We can all be heard if we participate. We say, Amma Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani Amma Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani. We say, Jagajanani Ma Jagajanani Ma Bhavani. Simple kirtan. तू ही दुर्गा, तू ही काली, तू ही महासरस्वती। विजय। जग जननी माँ अम्बा भवानी, जग जननी माँ, जग जननी माँ अम्बा भवानी, अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी, अम्बा भवानी, अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी, अम्बा भवानी माँ, अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी, अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी, जग जननी माँ अम्बा भवानी, जग जननी माँ, जग जननी माँ अम्बा भवानी, जग जननी तू ही दुर्गा, तू ही काली माँ, तू ही दुर्गा, तू ही दुर्गा, तू ही काली, तू ही दुर्गा, तू ही काली, तू ही दुर्गा, तू ही दुर्गा, तू ही काली, तू ही दुर्गा, तू ही काली, तू ही माता सरस्वती, तू ही माता सरस्वती, जग जननी माँ अम्बा भवानी, अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी, जग जननी माँ अम्बा आए हैं हम शरण तिहारी। We say, Mom, we have come to seek your shelter. We have come to seek your protection, Mom. Would you open your eyes and grant darshan? आए हैं माँ, आए हैं माँ, आए हैं हम शरण तिहारी, आए हैं हम शरण तिहारी, आए हैं माँ, आए हैं माँ, आए हैं माँ, आए हैं माँ, आए हैं हम briefly, we now focus our attentions on Shankar Maharaj, Uma Maheshwar. We continue in the same vein, powerful bhajan, meaningful bhajan. There is a tradition that I know I have verified that remains consistent, whether our diaspora, Trinidad or Guyana. Trinidad and Guyana are by no means the largest diasporic regions. Guyana, I believe, might be second. But in Trinidad and Guyana, with the arrival of these Indians in these places, about 80%, I believe, 80 to 85% possibly, were Hindus. So not only was there a mass movement of people, India, of course, was occupied by many different religions. Hindus, Muslims, and the Jains, the Sikhs, the Buddhists, different factions. Hindus occupied this huge percentage. Not only was there a massive movement of people, there was a massive movement of Dharma. There were two unifying forces in our communities, both in Guyana and Trinidad. One unifying force was bhajan. The second unifying force was Ramayana, Ramcharitamanas. When we come to bhajan, the staple was the Brahmanand Bhajan Mala. And this is the verifiable fact now. In Guyana as well as Trinidad, we all sang Brahmanand bhajans. And today, hopefully many of us see it fit to keep that tradition alive. So there are many things we can sing, and I purposefully classify it as thing because sometimes it's on the borderline of bhajan and something else. There are many things we can sing to improve ourselves and remind ourselves of the role of the divine in our lives. And there is a foundation. Hopefully most of us make it our purpose to continue. To continue to stay true to the foundation. And yes, we can expand and express, but not at the expense of the foundation, if you know what I mean. This bhajan comes from that tradition, the formative experiences. It says, Mahadev Sadashiva Shankar hai. Mahadev Sadashiva Shankar. Aap Sadashiva Shankar hai. Purna Brahma, Swami, you are the complete Lord. Sanatana tu, eternal. Our Sanatan Dharma rests on Sanatan Brahma, who is Shankar Maharaj. I invite you to join with me, devotees, as we all sing. Now that we have gotten a bit of perspective, I again alert you, I remind you, let us not get lost in the sentiment. Let us begin to once more pray. We pray with awareness. Awareness of who we are. We say, Purana Brahma Sanatana tu Mahadeva Sadashiva Shankara. अंग विभूत विराज रही नित संग बसे गिरिराज सुता। अंग विभूत विराज रही नित संग बसे गिरिराज सुता। सिर ऊपर गंग तरंग चढ़ी सिर ऊपर गंग तरंग चली। गल बीच भुजंग विशंकर है। सब कोई पूर्ण ब्रह्म सनातन महादेव सदा शिव शंकर है। चंद्रकला शुभमस्तक में दृढ़तीन मनोहर झूठ जता। चंद्रकला 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 शुभमस्तक में दृढ़तीन मनोहर झूठ जता। दृढ़तीन मनोहर झूठ जता। दृढ़तीन मनोहर झूठ जता। चंद्रकला शुभमस्तक में दृढ़तीन मनोहर झूठ जता। कटी में मृग चर्म सुहाय रहा। कटी में मृग चर्म सुहाय रहा। कटी में मृग चर्म सुहाय रहा। कर बीच त्रिशूल भयंकर है। सब कोई पूर्ण सनातन महादेव सदा शिव शंकर है। कैलाश के बीच निवास करे। We reflect on Shankar Maharaj as Kailash Nivasi, Kailashpati, living, residing on Mount Kailash, representative of the pinnacle in yoga. We attain the highest state of material consciousness. Kailash Parvat is the highest point while being grounded in reality. So we seek the highest principles, we seek Swarga and Apavarga while we stay rooted in humility and bhakti and devotion. This is one portrayal, one image of Shankar Maharaj as Kailashpati. We focus. We immerse ourselves. We say, कैलाश के बीच निवास करे। गणयुथ निरंतर साथ रहे। कैलाश के बीच निवास करे। गणयुथ निरंतर साथ रहे। गणयुथ निरंतर साथ रहे। मुनि ध्यान धरे मन बीच सदा। मुनि ध्यान धरे मन बीच सदा। सुरविंद सभी पद के कर है। पूर्ण ब्रह्म सनातन महादेव सदा शिव गुणधान विमोक्ष निधान सदा शरणागत जान दया करके. The second to last verse here, Antara says, मुनि ध्यान धरे मन बीच सदा. The sages, the enlightened ones, hold you firmly within the consciousness. And then Brahmanand comes in the final analysis in the bhajan. Brahmanand karo Prabhu daan mujhe. Brahmanand karo, what is Brahmanand? Brahmanand, of course, the meaning is dual. The metaphor is clear, it's beautiful. Brahmanand is divine bliss. The happiness that is attained from attaining divinity, not by being entertained and not by being made to laugh and be happy. It is inner happiness. Brahmanand says, Brahmanand karo Prabhu daan mujhe. This is what I desire, this is what I want. Tera naam apar Prabhu, your name is limitless, timeless. We all appeal to Shankar Maharaj in this way as we take Brahmanand's lead in the final analysis. He says, Gunadhan vimoksha nidhan sada sharanat jaan daya karke. Gunadhan vimoksha nidhan sada sharanat jaan daya karke. शरणागत जान दया करके. शरणागत जान दया करके. ब्रह्मानंद करो प्रभु दान मुझे. ब्रह्मानंद करो प्रभु दान मुझे. तेरा नाम अपार सुखाकर है. पूर्ण ब्रह्म सनातन महादेव सदा शिव शंकर. Join. पूर्ण ब्रह्म सनातन महादेव सदा शिव शंकर है. As we complete this bhajan, we say, महादेव सदा शिव शंकर है. 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 पूर्ण ब्रह्म सनातन पूर्ण ब्रह्म सनातन पूर्ण ब्रह्म सनातन महादेव सदा शिव शंकर है. ओंकारं बिंदु संयुक्तं नित्यं ध्यायन्ति योगिनः. कामदं मोक्षदं चैव. कामदं मोक्षदं चैव. ओंकाराय नमो नमः. ओम शांति शांति शांति. उमापति महादेव की जय. This morning, devotees, as I think of what I might share with you. You know, we awoke this morning to a country in deep chaos, mayhem and violence. And it's staggering, devotees. It's staggering and it's worrisome. And most of all, it's sad. It's sad to see such hurt, to see such injustice, to see such a fractured history permeate our communities and our lives. And it's so sad, even sadder, I would say, to see all of this, injustice, to see all of this hurt boiling over. All of this hurt builds and it boils. And what is the product? It boils over into violence and wanton destruction and death. I awoke this morning and I realized that I don't have a message for you. And I mean that sincerely, I mean it truly. I don't have a message for you. So I picked up my pen and I just started to scribble a few thoughts. And I present these thoughts to you this morning. A randomized set of thoughts, I believe, that has the essence of what we all feel. And I unify us, not only in a feeling, but I hope to unify us by sharing some of my thoughts in a sense of purpose. Unify us towards self-identification. Like I said, with no clear message with what to give, right? Hundreds of sources of reference and thousands of lines and ideas to quote to devotees. There is nothing to say. And if I have nothing to say, I ask myself the question, why? Why is it, Rabidutt, that you have nothing to say? I mean, we can say that we're speechless, but none of us are ever speechless. It's just a matter of expressing something. I believe I have nothing to say because none of what I say will make sense unless all of us individually and collectively, of course, by extension, but individually we commit to change. No one, not only me, no one can say anything, no amount of things, no quantity of things, of no quality in substance. It will come to naught if we cannot commit to change. And this is where it becomes a little bit stark and these disparate thoughts begin to coalesce a little bit, because it says here now, right, when we bring all of these ideas together, we realize that none of it is going to come to anything unless we make change. Do we have to wait to make change? Do I have to sit here with so many of my Pundit colleagues, and then the ones of the past, and the far distant past, and preach for us to institute change? That is not the answer. The answer lies in action. The answer lies in action. We see tens of thousands of people, and I speak just briefly here in this part about our country, and this is going to affect everywhere in the world, believe it or not. Because we lead by example in the United States, and many times, too often also, we lead by bad examples. So we all ought to listen carefully. Tens of thousands of demonstrators in 28 cities, devotees, creating a war zone in our communities. Sorry. Creating a war zone in our communities, forgetting who is in the right. Forgetting who is in the right, because neither side is justifiable one way or the other. I, devotees, I see a type of incident that is an expression of hate, and that hate, devotees, causes, that expression of hate causes an explosion. And like I said, it's an explosion of violence. And to our local devotees, those of us associated here now in this area, Central Florida and thing, right? You know, it has happened before, but not like this time. This time is a little bit different. And I dare say, local devotees, that this is coming closer and closer to home. Physically, if you see what's happening, what has happened, possibly still happening on the 408 in Paramore, by the Amway Center and so on. Literally, this thing is hitting closer to home. This is as close as I could remember to things like this happening physically in our area since I've been here for 20 years. Let us never sit back, devotees. You, us, here. Let us never make the mistake of sitting back and thinking that this cannot and will not reach home. This level of violence and interruption, and we need to be prepared for it. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, everyone is asking for change. And I see what's going on, the destruction and the violence. And then I ask myself, is this change? This injustice has led to a desire for change, which then snowballs into destruction and violence. And we ask ourselves, is this change? Does this present the change that we want and the change that we need? There's no doubt that these protesters are seeking a return to higher values, to the higher values of humanity. Everyone is entitled to justice. Everyone is entitled to equality. In the past few months, I'm a little bit ashamed to say it, but my little daughter, Shaila Sutta, by doing homeschooling with her, she taught me the pledge, right, of the United States. And I know it. Do I know it, Mom, more or less? You give me 92%. Sometimes I still trip up here and there. But the words, devotees, of the pledge, and some of you know the pledge of your countries. When we look at what's happening here, it rings empty. We fight for justice, which we're entitled to. We fight for fairness, we fight for equality. We fight for an opportunity to coexist. And yet, devotees, we express that in violence. Like I said, seeking that return to higher values. Whatever is happening, those who are involved are actually shunning the higher values. Shunning the actions that lead to higher values, I should say. How are we to make sense of all of this? How are we devotees to make sense of our communities when something like this happens? And I really, like I said, I didn't come prepared with anything in particular except my feelings and my thoughts. And I'll stop here because I don't want to appear to be making statements, if you know what I mean, and declarations. But as I address you as an organization, as a community, I think we must face a few things. Okay? We must face a few things, and what are they? We all agree, I will say, that there is a change. There's a massive need, I will say, for comprehensive change. Comprehensive change is meant in many aspects of our community, and some are choosing to demand that change by force. And it may work, devotees, it may just work, but if you think about it, if history is to be the judge of these types of actions and its result, it likely will not work. It may work, but likely it will not be successful, because it is not the first. These types of actions, we just call it rioting. No, let me call it mayhem. Right? I'll stay in a safe zone today, so nobody hates on me and so on. We experience this type of upheaval. We interact with upheaval in this way. And in doing so, devotees, we stop and we think that it happened in the recent past, it happened in the not so distant past, it happened in the historical era. It's been happening all the time. And we're still fighting this big, long, protracted battle. So we're expecting change, right? How realistic is that? Or do we just act on impulse and emotion? It will not work. And I'll share this with you this morning. So I go back to my notes. I say, instead of demanding change in this way, by whatever means, let's say, instead of demanding change by whatever means, then instead, we should ourselves commit to change. And it's not the same thing. Rather than demanding change, we should commit to change. And why are we committing to change? Because to commit means it is centered here. It is centered amongst us. It is centered here with us. Since this pandemic started, devotees, there have been a few things that have been on my mind, and I've held my tongue as a pundit. It really bothers me, but I held my tongue for a while until these latest incidents came upon us. And today I will share some of it. Alright? For the greater good, hopefully. And I know some of it will be taken the wrong way, but you know, this is the price you pay sometimes. It's the price you pay for truth. So here goes. We have been hearing or seeing or listening, if we stay all out on social media, Facebook particularly, many phrases, many calls to action, so to speak. We hear, pray for the world. We hear, heal the world. Right? And all you hear that already? We hear, healing the world through unity and prayer. We hear, pray to Hanuman Baba. Right? Pray to Hanuman for the world. We hear all of these things, devotees. Look at where it's heading. Out in the world, we're making projections and proclamations on the world. It's intellectual rioting, if you ask me. Pray for the world, heal the world through unified prayer and all of that. Hanuman Swami will save it and things. We will cause Hanuman Swami to save the world. Let me ask you a question, devotees. If it is that the divine had to intervene and solve this problem, you don't think it would have happened already? Do you think Bhagwan is waiting for some point or something, or for a certain amount of people to die before he intervenes? What kind of God is that? That is not our God. And I will tell you, That is, it is not a judgment on our God. That is not the way that we should think. This is an act of our doing. If you want to see Bhagwan, right, and I'm going a little bit way out here, but listen, let me tickle you a little bit. If you want to see Bhagwan, look at your actions. If we want to see Bhagwan, we look at all of our own actions. Because Bhagwan is karma. What we experience in life hasn't been given by the divine. It has been given through the grace of the divine, but not through divine instrumentality, direct intervention. It is our actions that drive our success and failures in life. You want to see Bhagwan? Don't look out there, we look inside. I'll come back to what I really intended to say. We pray for the world, like we say, and we heal in the world and all kind of things, devotees. These are just catchphrases. They're just cute catchphrases to get people's attention. But the wise will pause and think, and I'm still on my rant and rave here in case you wonder. The wise will pause, and the wise will think, and they will ask questions. When you hear things like this, let's just take it generically. We want to heal the world. We get together, we heal up the world. Is there anything wrong with this idea? The answer is no. Nothing is wrong with that. Next question. Can it happen? Can it happen? Well, devotees, the answer again is no. And if the answer is no, we ask why. And then we ask why, devotees? The answer that follows that question is because praying for the world and praying to heal the world does not go an iota beyond hope. We all sit together and we decide we're going to pray for the world. All we're doing is sitting and collectively hoping. We're just hoping and hoping and hoping. Is your prayer hope, devotees? Is that what your Dharma tells you? Prayer has real substance and real value to bring real result. So we'll sit on hope? Is that where we will relegate our prayer? Praying for the world like this is only hope. The operative word is to pray. And the devotees ask you the question now. What is superior to hope? Action is superior to hope. So instead of sitting down, devotees, and being the greatest humanists and humanitarians in the world, and we sit and we collectively hope for change and pray for change, we can institute change in our own actions, in our own thinking, in our own philosophies. And if, like I said, if everybody, billions of us all, were to do that, we will get change. But this, we can't reach the billions. Right? And we may not reach the thousands. We may not reach the hundreds. We may not even reach 1,000 devotees. From experience, I will tell you, sometimes if you reach one, you reach plenty. If you reach one, devotees, you reach enough. Because that one is here. That one is you. That one is you. Let me try to get to my point here now. My point is this. All of this chaos that we're seeing in the world is getting a little bit too real. Not to diverge into something else now, but our scriptures already describe this. So we are just seeing the natural course of history. This is getting all too real. We are living in a world of too much outward expressions. My whole theme was bringing you back home to this, to us, to one, to I, to me, to change one, to change ourselves. This is introspection. But the world is being swept away by outward expressions. Too much outward expression. And you know, in my day, when I was in school, I get it live from plenty leaders and plenty teachers, and I learned from it. There's this word they used to use. I don't know if this word even exists today, probably out of the dictionary, because of the same outward expression thing. Ostentation. There's too much ostentation in the world, and we're happy with that, and we're proud with that. We could beat our chests with our devotees, and we could puff ourselves up and feel valuable. We are living with too much ostentation. And I will come down and say this, that we're betraying our value system. All of us individually. And then we sit back and we see chaos and we see I shouldn't say no, very little possibility for change. While it scares us devotees, and we come back and I tell you, make no mistake about it, we can't have a mission to go out there and change that. Because everybody's life, fortunately, everybody's life is in your own hands. But we can focus inwardly a little bit. And as we become part of this, again, like I say, I hold in my tongue plenty, but today I will wag my tongue a little bit. I'll pay the price if so be. And you all know it makes very little difference to me. You go to us on the same Facebook devotees, man, you're being bombarded by preachings. Right? Preachings from every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Right? Peter, Paul, Jane, and John, and everybody. Posting and posting and posting like heck. Tell me if that is not ostentation at its best. We all preach to everybody else and show everybody else what's happening in the world. But some are we blind, we carried. All of we know, all of we seen it. Why are we reinforcing the obvious and then neglecting the important? Now we forget to post a little. Just take this little challenge. Don't post nothing. Right? Don't preach and teach to nobody for today. The rest of today. And let's sit and think a little bit inwardly, and we ask ourselves some of these tough questions. I'll share something very personal with you. I'll be very uncharacteristic tonight. I'll keep my clothes in case Madulahin tried to stop me. Last night I had a very odd experience. It's something very personal. I had a dream. I dreamt something. I dreamt that I was in this place. It looked like a house. And in this dream, all of us, people I know, and Dharma Inc, and some friends and family and so on, somehow I happened to see everybody in the dream. We all were sitting there. And there was a living room that was like an L. But in that living room, right, I was sitting and I was listening to my father on the Sundat doing service. So, Pitaji doing service. And you know what's the weirdest thing about this dream? Mataji was there too, my mother was there. As I remember her, dressed in white. They were both there and he was doing service, and all of a sudden it's time to worship Lord Shiva and nothing going on. Nothing going on. So I sit down thinking, I say, when this man go start, boy? Lapsing? You know, a little break in his satsang, dying good. Waiting. And somebody call. They say, watch, boy. And the watch. Wait, nobody there. Pundit Sundat gone. Pitaji gone. So I take it upon myself now. I say, wait, now this man gone. This service can't continue. I sat down. I say, I will do Shiv until he come back. Then, you know, sometimes the dream is clear and unclear too. Somebody tell me how your mother and your father together, somebody doing something. So I sit down now and I try to do Shiv worship. Mic stop working. I'm looking for my boys, Tulsidas, Vasudev, Roy, everybody. Everybody there, but nobody ready. Nobody waiting. Nobody's prepared. And I sit down now, there's a guy, I say, this is a dream, eh? So take it for what it's worth. A fella sit down, an old fella sit down right in front of me, like if I sit down playing. I somehow in a dream, like I said, different. I sit down here, he sit down in a couch right there, and he take his foot and he throw it on the harmonium. I said, I didn't talk to him. I said to the people who have in here, I don't know who it was, they said something. I said, why is he doing that? Tell him to move. Tell him to move his foot. Move his foot. I sit down there, I'm making a fuss. I say, I want to do Shiva, I want to carry on this session, but I see no mic. It had no mic in the mic stand. Now I give up mic stand long time, eh? But the mic stand make her come back in the dream. Right? Jug, you like that one? Right? A mic stand make her come back in the dream. And I'm asking for the mic. Nobody put no mic. So I say, you know what? I'm going to start, yes? I don't need a mic. And I open my mouth and start to sing. Right? I hear myself with this speaker in the PA system. Because the mic was right there and it was small. It was a new mic that's built into the mic stand and I didn't even know. Presumption. Right? Now, I don't want to give you the, because this take a whole night to dream, eh? And I know only how I live with that time. So I'll move a little quick now. I don't do that. I don't remember what happened with the devotion, but after that I asked myself, I say, well, let that come back now. I'm coming and finish this song. Right? Somebody tell me, say your father gone. Father and mother gone, they're coming back. And I sat there to finish this song and I couldn't. For whatever reason, I wasn't capable, I wasn't ready, I wasn't prepared, I don't know what the reason was. And then I got up. I'm still dreaming here. Hopefully I didn't get up and walk around the house and thing. I get up and I walked into another room and this is where the dream gets all too real for me. Some of you know my Nana. I should say some of you were blessed to know it. Those who took the blessing. And you know my nanny too. Some of you. I used to call them Ma and Pa sometimes. Guruji and Gurumai. And some of us call them Moy and Papa. I used to call them Moy and Papa. Moy was my nanny, Papa and Nana. I walked into this room and now both of them passed away, long time. I see Papa sit down in a couch. He slouched back in a couch like this. And he was skinny and he was dark. He looked like he was not too good, you know. Didn't look nice. And he was crying. But the weirdest thing about it, those of us who know them, Moy was sitting, he was in the Maxo, and Moy was sitting and leaning on him. That I never seen happen in my living days. But she sit down and she put her head on his chest and he take his hands and he put it around her. And he was embracing her and he was playing with her hair and so on. And he was crying and she was worried. And I looked at them and, you know, when I looked at them, my nanny usually is the one to speak first. The nanny speak to me and she said, you know your father, even though it was our grandfather, she used to say your father, are feeling happy, take him for a drive now, carry him, Valpark, right? Only a little bit of people know where Valpark is. If you live in Trinidad, down by Bamboo, down by Prem side. Okay? Valpark is, they say, the first mall that was built in Trinidad, but eventually I get to realize it was the first strip mall. And I believe it might still be there. Now, that used to happen. I used to take him there, and he used to be happy when he go there. Not because he used to come out. He's a man, never come out nowhere and so on. But when you take him to Valpark, it's because there was a pharmacy there. And I used to take him there and go inside and get his medicine and bring him back. I was his chauffeur for a while. I get plenty abuse for that from him. So she said, carry him Valpark and he go feel good. So my interpretation of that is carry him there, he'll get his medications and he go feel better, he go feel happy. So two of them sitting there and they say to take him Valpark. And of course, I took him to Valpark and, well, I didn't, in the dream I didn't, but the dream ended there. And then, you know, I woke up and when I woke up I felt quite disturbed. by what the dream, that dream that I had. And this is when, like I said, I started to try to make sense of my experiences from last night. And I came to a certain realization, because if there are meanings to dream, if there are meanings to dreams, they should be interpreted correctly. And I came to the conclusion that my parents, my Pundit that who you all know, my father, my mother, in that dream symbolized who we are. All of us, our parents, symbolic of who we are. And let's just say all of us had the same dream with our own parents and grandparents and grandpa and whatever more. Right? Represents who we are. Our parents represent who we are. And then my grandparents, Moy and Papa as we say, represent our accumulated values. It represents that accumulation of all the values we have. And the crying that he was doing, because he was, no doubt, when his days, there was never a head of the family. As long as he's around, he was the absolute top head. His crying represented the pain that can be felt. The pain that can be felt by us losing our values. The loss of our accumulated values is the sadness that was expressed there. And why Val Park? I ask myself, I mean, it's hard to bring in, when you talk about philosophy, I think it's hard to bring in Amol, eh? But it actually makes sense when you think about it. That Val Park devotees, taking him there, forget where it is, it could be any place, but it's a place of comfort. Taking him there represents giving them comfort, giving him comfort. And what is that comfort? That comfort, devotees, is a return, or to live the values that they have impressed upon us. Taking him there, by Moy said, take your father to Val Park, you know, he will feel better. It wasn't for him. He would feel better, because for me it would represent the completion of the process of returning to that value system that was, like I said, impressed upon us by so many generations gone. And then we ask ourselves a question, and come quick to close now. Ask yourself the question, what did they want? You ask yourself the question, all your grandparents and parents and so on, right? If you whoever remembers far back, what did they all ask for? As Hindus, as practitioners of this Dharma that we have here in the West, that is so valuable, and sometimes it's so different from what you see in India, but in many ways more powerful because it is ours. What did they ask for? I'll jog your memory a little bit and tell you, these people, all they asked for was peace. That's all they asked for, peace, shanti. And you remember, Nana, Nani, when everybody arguing and so on, what do they say? Shantraho, all you calm down. Right? It's not just an external, a face value facade of peace. It is because it was their anthem, it was their motto, it was what they stood for and represented. And now today, when we kind of mix up the English, right, and the Hindi, and we get creolized Hindi, right, we'll tell people to shanty down, right? Shanty down a little bit. The same thing, right? The message is the same, right? Shant, peace and equality. How do we find that, devotees? How do we represent that peace? How do we get that peace in everything that's happening, all of this chaos? How do we come to peace, and how do we come to, in many ways, a sense of unity and equality? Well, devotees, I will summarize and end my message by saying this. We can do that by looking inside, looking inward. There's a massive movement for change now. Like I said, we want to heal the world and so on. We take all that and you push it aside, and you realize there's only one person that all of we can change. There's only one person that we all can change, and that person is right here. Don't point your finger so. You point it back this way. Point it inwardly and find the person here. Find the candidate for change here. And don't hope for change. Institute the change here. And I end by saying this. I want to share this with you. I'm sharing my personal thoughts here. I want to share this with you if you allow me before we close. It's one thing to change, and I'm not saying we wouldn't. We're all capable of change, and I'm sure we can all change. But you see, mindset has a lot to do with it too. And our mindset today has become so antagonistic. It has become so visceral. It has become so contradictory. That's the word I'm looking for. That we're more likely to get in the conflict than not. And I feel mindset will allow us to change that too. Right? This is a public stream. So I would like to be very careful and responsible in what I say. But I will just mention this and not deal with it. Hopefully it doesn't come out to bite me somehow. I've taken risks today already. Right? No justice, no peace. Really, devotees? Is that the way we bring change? This is not a statement, a blanket statement or political statement. This is to cause us to reflect inside. To cause us to reflect inwardly. And I'll bring you two things. Because just running my mouth today. I haven't really quoted any dharma or scriptures or anything to that effect. So I will do that quickly before I close. There's this beautiful pad from Kabir. It was made into a bhajan. Maybe it was meant to be a bhajan. Again, as I talk about my experiences a lot, I'll share it with you for those who could appreciate it. The principal of my college in India, Madhu Mudgalji, sang this Kabir message in a bhajan. He says, Sadhu, Sadhu, dekho re ye bhaurana. Look at what the world has come to. Look at what the world has become. He says, Hindu kahe mohe Ram pyara. Hindu kahe mohe Ram pyara, turat kaho Rahmana. So one says, I am a Hindu and I worship Ram. Ram is God. The other one says, I am a Muslim. I worship, the Prophet. The Prophet will lead me to God. And then he says, Hindu kahe mohe Ram pyara, turat kaho Rahmana. आपस में जो लड़ी है. When you believe so strongly in this and you believe so strongly in this, you become embodiments of what you believe, and when you come together, it's conflict and it's fight and confusion. Do you really believe anything then? I'm just quoting Kabir here, or are we just a bunch of hypocrites walking around with loud mouths? And if you think I'm being harsh, and I'm just putting words in Kabir Das's mouth, I'll just go straight to the last verse, the last pad now, the antara here. And what he says, Mala phere topi pehre chhap tilak bana mala. Right? He says, we wear mala, or we wear topi, whether we be Hindu or Muslim or Jew or whatever. Right? Chhap tilak bana mala. We dress ourselves in all of these outward shows of magnanimity, right, and piety. आपस में जो लड़ी है. At the end of the day, devotees, ये सब भरम बुराना. It causes us to commit the greatest of offenses. And he says, in another instance, हार जुरे में लकड़ी, खेस जुरे के खास. Right? सब जलत का देख है, भाई कबीर उदास. He becomes depressed when he hears these things, when he sees this. How should we be? I'm not saying that when you do these things, your outward shows of dharma and identity and culture is hypocritical. Don't take it to mean that. What I mean is that what we reflect on the inside, on the outside, what we deflect on the outside, I should say, should be reflected on the inside too. We have to represent what we show inside out. And not just show. That's all I'm saying. I'll end now. Right? This is how we should be. This is the attitude we should have to promote this state of peace and unity and equality within. He says finally, many of you know this one, especially in Dharma Inc. We get a good laugh when we hear it. And when I share it with you, and I just laugh too. Right? What does it say? Sadhu से साधु मिले दोनों हंसकर बात. साधु से साधु मिले दोनों हंसकर बात. गधा से गधा मिले दोनों चढ़ावे लात. When a holy person meets a holy person, दोनों हंसकर बात, they exchange pleasantries. But when a donkey meets an ex-donkey, right, what is happening? You think there is exchange pleasantries? They start to kick one another. साधु से साधु मिले दोनों हंसकर बात. गधा से गधे मिले दोनों चलावे लात. We take that, devotees, as tongue-in-cheek as it may be, as surprising as it may be, because sometimes you could get a little surprises in life. It works good, and it helps us to see how we should be. None of this has to happen, devotees. None of this has to happen. We choose to make it happen. The guilty and the innocent, the victim, right, and the prosecutor and the defender, however you want to look at it. We have all made these choices. This is not God's work. This is not humanity's work. This is all of us individually acting like-mindedly and acting wrong because our mind is wrong. Let us try to fix our minds. That's all I'm saying this morning as I share these thoughts with you. I'll end by saying this. Right? Last part of my little bit of notes that I jot down here. We want peace, we want unity, we want equality. Then, in order to find peace, let us go inside. Let us find inner peace. Okay? How do we find inner peace? I'll tell you, so that I'll leave you with something to do to, not just something to listen. Something to listen to. We can find inner peace by performing meditation. A good practice, some of you know about it, is Shodan. Right? Nadi Shodan. You inhale through one nostril and you cover it, and then you repeat the process. Look it up or ask somebody. Right? You purify and you energize those energy centers in the face, close to the brain, close to the crown or Sahasra Chakra and so on. These things, if we actually take steps and do, is going to change our inclinations. It's going to make us who we ought to be mentally. But do we want to practice that? Or we just sit down and forward posts from Facebook all day? Or we sit and practice. We sit and work on ourselves. We don't invest our time in spreading other people's message. We invest our time in creating our philosophies of our own, which is peace, shant, control, unity. This is one thing we could do. Okay? And then we could experience, we can also exercise externally, right? We could exercise external and internal shanti. Just like I told you how we can experience unity and peace by doing this Shodan or just stay breathing, right? Pranayam. How do we exercise external and internal peace, right? And shanti. Well, internally, right? This is how we do it. I should say externally, this is how we do it. We practice non-violence. It's as simple as that and as complicated as that. The need for revenge and retribution and retaliation and all of that. We curtail those inclinations. We practice non-violence. What else do we practice? Again, right? Tongue loose today, and justifiably so. We practice vegetarianism. We become vegetarians. I said it right? Vegetarianism? Yeah. Vegetarianism, we exercise vegetarianism because it influences who we are. Okay? Vegetarianism is not just for fasting. And non-alcoholism. You go ahead and try it and see how life changes. See how your thoughts change. See how your actions change. Most importantly, we see how our reactions change. Right? If you don't like that message, you shouldn't come to service. Watch TV and be entertained. This is reality. This is truth. This is who we should be. This is who all of us ought to be. And how do we exercise internal shanti? well, Sanatana Dharma calls it ekta. And I'll put it this way, just simply. I'll say, our sense of values should not be at odds with our actions. I'm going to leave that right there. Our sense of values should not be at odds with our action. And I might even go further and split it more and say, our values should not be in conflict with our senses. Okay? So we practice internal shanti here. Our values should not conflict with our senses, and then our sense of values shouldn't conflict with our actions. If we were to take the steps and practice that, devotees, how successful would we be? Listen, today was a bit of an unusual day in terms of the message. I hope it's taken the right way. I know you know it was given sincerely, and there are so many things to think about. While we think about all of it, some of it will heat us up and it will make us angry, and some of them must be done vex with me and all of that. So be it, let it happen, it's alright. I don't take that stuff personally, but I know that it has now, right, caused a reaction in you. Sit and think about it and let's come to some conclusion. Whatever that conclusion is, it's yours. Right? At the end of the day, I haven't shared all of this to spread disunity. I haven't shared this to spread more conflict. I've shared it so that we can find areas of commonality. Because out of conflict, when you take it and you put it together and you analyze it and you extract the common things, you realize we're all the same. I might cry, you might fight, but both of us angry. Anger is the commonality. So we go ahead and we take all of this information, however you reacted to it, and you sift it out. And you bring it home and you sit with it and you think about it. At the end of the day, it will be an experience for all of us to improve. And I always give my personal guarantee when I take it upon myself to run my mouth on my personal opinions a lot. I always say this, and I will end by saying this: you are not alone. I don't preach to you, I preach to us. I guarantee you that I am also on the path of seeking self-improvement. I am also on the path of eliminating all of my shortcomings, some of which you all, even you all see. We are all in this together. But there's only space to change one. Only one can be changed, and that one is here. Okay? We leave that for today. Bole Sri Satya Narayan Swami Ki Jai. Two or three moments of worship to Narayan Bhagwan, and we move into final arati. We end like we started. Take up. Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari. Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari. He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari. Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari. He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. We give ourselves courage. Courage to change. Courage to accept that there is a need for change. We clap, devotees. Let us all, wherever we are. If you're home, clap softly if you have to. It's fine. Sing softly if you have to. But engage. Close your eyes. Get immersed. Let the frequency of Narayana Vasudeva, Narayana Vasudeva, Narayana Vasudeva overcome you. We become small in the eyes of the Lord. And we become ready for change. He Vasudeva, He Nath Narayan Vasudeva, He Nath Narayan Satyanarayana Swami ki jai. I thank you again this morning, devotees, for your time, for your listening ear, and for being a part of this movement of change, individual change. We now join briefly in final arati. If you have prepared your arati, then please, we complete arati at our altar, at our appropriate places at home, and we stand and we come to the end. Vishaya vikara mitao, paap haro deva, shraddha bhakti bharao, santata ki seva. Om Jai. Mata pita tum mere, sharan gahna kisaki, tum bina aur na hoga, aash karo kisaki. Om Jai. Tum purana paramatma, tum antarayami, par brahma parameshwar, tum sabke swami. Om Jai. तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन करता, दीन दयालु कृपालु, कृपा करो भरता. ओम जय. तुम हो एक अगोचर, सबके प्राणपति, किस विधि मिलो दया में, तुमको मैं तुम्हारी. ओम जय. दीन बंधु दुख हरता, तुम रक्षक मेरे, करुणास्त बढ़ाओ, अपने हाथ उठा लो, द्वार पर्यो तेरे. ओम जय जगदीश हरे. ओम जय जगदीश हरे. ओम जय जगदीश हरे. We say a prayer, devotees, as we always do, for ourselves. We say a prayer for our families. We say a prayer for our organization. We say a prayer for our communities. We say a prayer for our pundits, for our leaders, for our gurus. We say a prayer for our country. We say a prayer, devotees, for humanity. We join. Om Dhau Shanti Antariksham Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Apa Shanti, Aushadhiya Shanti, Vanaspatiya Shanti, Vishwadeva Shanti, Brahma Shanti, Sarvam Shanti, Shanti Deva, Shanti Sama, Shanti Riddhi, Shantir Bhavatu. Om Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Sukha Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om Hari Om. Sri Paramatma Namaha. Bole Sri Gajanan Swami ki jai. Umapati Mahadev ki jai. Adshakti Jagdamba Mata ki jai. Bole Sri Pavan Putra Hanuman ki jai. Bole Sri Satyanarayana Swami ki jai. Bole Sri Sita Ramachandra ki jai. Bole Sri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Bole Sri Surya Narayan Swami ki jai. Bole Bhai Sab Santan ki jai. Prem se bole Sri Satya Sanatan Dharma ki jai. Shubhamastu, devotees. If you're standing, I invite you to please take your seats. I want to once again this week apologize if we have gone on a little bit longer than scheduled. I hope that it is well taken, and I hope that you made the choice to stay with us as we complete these few valuable moments of devotion. I want to say a word of blessing particularly to members of Sri Vishnu Sahastranaam Mandir for continuing to join and continuing to support. I want to also say thank you to Roshan Ramdeen and his company, Swarg Sangeet HD, for allowing the stream on his platform, and of course with him and his staff making it accessible to a few more people. I do want to remind you, devotees, that we are not out of the woods yet in our communities. I've been getting some questions regarding when are we going to be reopening and so on. Devotees, the answer is not always very clear cut, but I will say that we will do so when it is safe. Okay, the last thing we would want is to hastily reopen and then, cause any kind of spread or infections and so on. I'm sure all of us would feel terrible if something like that would happen. So if needed, we will exercise a little bit more patience, and I hope that you exercise that patience with us all as a community as we reopen in a safe manner. I do want to say, like I said, we're not out of the woods, but during this time, many of you have come forward, you have stepped up, and you have provided support in all ways needed. You have provided material support, you have provided social support, moral support, psychological support, you have provided financial support, you have provided all of this to our organization, Dharma Inc. I want to, on behalf of all of us at Dharma Inc., thank you sincerely, and I want to encourage you, urge you, to ask of you to continue supporting just for a little while more as we get through this. My hope is that at the end of it, we all have a good understanding of what we represent at Dharma Inc., and that you find value in it. We find in all circumstances, even this one, ways to continue to bring value to the community, and I want to encourage you, whether you are able to support or not, whether you choose to support or not, to still partake of the value that we bring. It is for everyone. I would like to also direct you to our webpage, dharmainc.net, where you can make use of some good material, particularly sheets and bhajans, and how to do our devotions, how to prepare for your devotions, and of course for Purnima and so on. Dharmainc.net, it also provides an opportunity for you to support us if you so wish. A bit on our schedule before we close. On Thursday, that's the 4th, on Thursday the 4th, we will be observing Purnima. Of course, we'll be doing it right here. We'll begin for 7 p.m. as we always do. I want to encourage you to prepare to perform your pujas at home. I will skip the details, but again, if you go on dharmainc.net, by this evening we kind of rotate the information. I will make sure that we have posted up there the steps that you can take, the things you need, the preparation and so on, for us all to perform our Satchinarayan Puja in our homes. I want to encourage you strongly to do that, and like I said, the resources will be available for you. There's no guessing. You will know exactly how to prepare, and you will maximize on your experience with us on Thursday night at 7 p.m. I don't know, we have some time available. Today I made a few allusions to Kabir and so on, because we don't have a whole train of offerings as we do in the Mandir. With the extra time, maybe we can do some Ram Katha, possibly, we'll see, possibly some Ramayana, short reading Ramayana Katha on Thursday. I want to let you know that we have today, on Thursday is Purnima. Next Sunday, we will not have any devotions, okay? That will be Sunday the 7th. On Sunday the 7th, which is next Sunday, no devotions, no live stream devotions here from Dharma Inc. But we will resume on the 14th, and I will tell you, right, that on the 14th, we will resume with a big and exciting surprise, okay, for everyone. So I want to encourage you on the 14th to join with us again, to ask your friends to join in the devotions, and to be a part of this opportunity that comes only once a year. I'll give you a little hint. It's an opportunity that comes once a year, and it's a great one that I hope this year many more of us can take advantage of. So I want to invite you for 2 weeks from now as we resume with our Sunday morning devotions. I want to say blessings to everyone who helped to make today's devotion a success. I want to urge you, as we continue on with our days and our lives, to be careful, to be prayerful, and to be considerate. Devotees, on behalf of all of the members of Dharma Inc., I want to wish you a safe and spiritual week ahead, and I say Jai Jai Sitaram.